War Marshal Krektar stood in the command center of the Dominion flagship Absolute Victory, watching the blue dot of Earth grow slowly larger through the vast viewport. Behind his massive dreadnought, 800 warships of the Galactic Dominion's first conquest fleet maintained perfect attack formation as they crossed the outer edge of the Sol system. War Marshal reported his tactical officer, "All ships report battle-ready status. The human homeworld will be ours within 18 standard hours." Krektar's armored carapace clicked with satisfaction. The conquest of Earth had been planned for decades, a simple matter of overwhelming a primitive species that had barely mastered basic spaceflight. Intelligence reports confirmed that humans possessed no significant military space assets beyond a few patrol craft and mining vessels. "Signal the fleet," he commanded. "Begin deceleration for planetary bombardment positions. This will be over before the humans even know what's happening." The first indication that something was wrong came when they crossed the orbit of Neptune. "War Marshal, I'm detecting multiple energy signatures throughout the outer system," called his sensor operator, confusion evident in his chittering voice. "Configuration unknown." "Explain." "The signatures appear to be coming from what our scans initially identified as asteroids and ice chunks, but the energy readings suggest..." "Sir, I think they're artificial constructs." Krektar studied the tactical display as his ship's computers began updating their analysis of the outer solar system. What had appeared to be natural debris was revealing itself as something else, entirely a network of installations hidden throughout the asteroid belts and planetary orbits. "How many installations?" "Sir, I'm reading. Over 12,000 individual signatures. They're everywhere. The entire system appears to be fortified." This was unprecedented. No species had ever militarized their home system to such an extent, and certainly not a primitive civilization like humanity. "Open a communication channel to Earth," Krektar ordered. "Let them know their defenses are meaningless against Dominion firepower." The response came not from Earth, but from a facility hidden in the asteroid belt between Jupiter and Mars. The human who appeared on his screen was a middle-aged woman wearing a military uniform that suggested professional competence rather than primitive desperation. "This is Admiral Sarah Mitchell of the Sol Defense Command. Dominion Fleet, you are trespassing in human territorial space. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." Krektar's mandibles clicked in amusement. "Admiral Mitchell, scan your sensors. 800 Dominion warships are approaching your pathetic world. Your hidden installations cannot possibly threaten a fleet of this magnitude." "War Marshal, you're making several incorrect assumptions about our defensive capabilities. But I'll give you one final opportunity to leave peacefully." "And if we refuse?" Admiral Mitchell's smile was cold as the void between stars. "Then you'll discover exactly why no species has successfully invaded a human system in the past century." "The past century?" "Humans have only achieved spaceflight within recent decades." "War Marshal, humanity has been spacefaring for longer than your intelligence reports indicate. We've simply been selective about what we reveal to galactic observation." The first attack came without warning. What Krektar's sensors had identified as a small asteroid suddenly unfolded like a metallic flower, revealing weapon systems that immediately locked onto his flagship. The energy beam that lanced across space punched through his ship's shields as if they didn't exist. "Impossible!" Krektar roared. "No single installation should be able to penetrate Dominion shielding." "Sir," his tactical officer reported, voice tight with panic, "that wasn't a single installation. I'm reading coordinated fire from over 300 platforms. They're operating as a network system." The tactical display erupted in chaos as hidden installations throughout the outer system revealed themselves and opened fire. Asteroid bases, concealed weapon platforms, and what appeared to be entire militarized moons began targeting the Dominion fleet with precision that spoke of decades of preparation. Fleet status report. Krektar demanded. 70 ships destroyed in the first salvo. Admiral, these aren't primitive weapons. They're using technologies I don't recognize. Some kind of gravitational manipulation, quantum tunneling projectiles, and energy weapons that seem to ignore our defensive systems entirely. Admiral Mitchell's voice came through the communication system with the calm authority of someone completely in control. War Marshal, what you're experiencing is the sole defense grid, a system we've been building and refining for the past 80 years. Every asteroid, every moon, every piece of space debris larger than a baseball has been weaponized or converted into a sensor node. 80 years? That's impossible. Actually, War Marshal, humanity began preparing for galactic contact the moment we achieved faster-than-light communication and realized we weren't alone. We decided early on that our home system would never fall to alien conquest. The destruction was systematic and absolute. Hidden installations that had masqueraded as natural phenomena for decades revealed themselves as sophisticated weapons platforms. The asteroids belt between Mars and Jupiter unfolded into a maze of defensive positions that created overlapping fields of fire, making escape impossible. Sir, his surviving tactical officer reported, fleet strength is down to 60% and falling rapidly. These defensive systems are coordinated on a level I've never seen. They're predicting our movements and adjusting their targeting in real time. How are they processing tactical data that quickly? Admiral Mitchell answered, as if she could hear their desperate conference. The sole defense grid operates on distributed quantum computing networks. War Marshal. Every installation shares sensor data and targeting information instantaneously. Your fleet isn't fighting individual bases, you're fighting the entire star system. Krektar watched in growing horror as his supposedly invincible conquest fleet was methodically dismantled by defenses that had been waiting in the dark for decades. Weapons emerged from concealment with the patience of spiders that had been weaving their web for generations. Admiral Mitchell, he transmitted, his voice carrying the weight of inevitable defeat, call off your attack. We surrender. I'm afraid that's not possible, War Marshal. You see, the sole defense grid has standing orders regarding invasion fleets, complete elimination. We can't risk any intelligence about our defensive capabilities reaching the galactic dominion. You're going to murder 800 ships worth of sentient beings? We're going to defend our home, Mitchell replied coldly. Just like any species would. The difference is that we're very, very good at it. The last Dominion ship was destroyed just past the orbit of Mars, its wreckage joining the debris field that would serve as a permanent reminder to future would-be conquerors. In the 18 hours it had taken the fleet to cross from Neptune to Mars, humanity had demonstrated that Earth was not the defenseless world the galaxy believed it to be. Admiral Mitchell's final transmission went out on all galactic Dominion frequencies to any other species considering military action against human space. Sol system is closed to hostile forces. Approach at your own risk. The message was received throughout the galaxy, along with sensor data that showed the complete annihilation of the Dominion's finest fleet by what appeared to be an empty star system. Humanity's reputation for being a primitive species died along with War Marshal Krektar, somewhere between the orbit of Jupiter and the red sands of Mars.